Hello everybody, and thank you for watching my video. Today I'd like to talk about a product that's really kind of useful for me. I use it on laptops, I use it on desktops, and soon I'll be using it more on my iPad, and certainly get to use it on my RavPower as a storage expansion or for backing files up. So it's kind of a very versatile product, and what I'm really talking about is this. This is actually a little portable storage device. It's kind of a do-it-yourself kind of kit. Basically, it has it's an enclosure with a single USB-C port, and basically allows you to put in your own M.2 drive, SATA version, not the NVMe version, and allows you to use it as external storage. There's a variety of cables that you can get for it, USB-C to USB-C, USB-C to, like this one, to USB-A. It is support the Gen 2 3.1 standard, so it's very versatile in terms of what you can use it on. What I'd like to do is to kind of show you how it's put together, the options you have in terms of hard drives, or SSDs I should say, and then ultimately we'll do some benchmarking and see how it performs on the desktop and also the RavPower in terms of external storage. Okay, let's get into the construction of this unit so you can get an idea of how it's put together and basically how easy it is to assemble, and then we'll switch from there and go into the benchmarking. So first of all, let me take this one apart because this one's already put together. As you can see here, there are two screws. So we're going to go ahead and take those apart. There's one. And there's two. As you can see, the little plate falls off and this drive just kind of comes apart and the board slides out. And this is where the drive is mounted. It's very simple and straightforward. So as you can see here, this is typical M.2 installation. You slide it in at an angle, push it down and lock it down with the screw here. Same basic configuration as any other drive. M.2 drive, whether you're putting it into a motherboard, an enclosure, or as we saw from my last video, into an external card. Did want to re-clarify one more time that you need to use in this type of enclosure, because it's USB based, you're going to have to use a SATA, which has the two notches in it. So make sure when you buy your SSD that you buy a SATA based SSD, not the NVMe based. So let's go ahead and slide this back together, and you can see how it just comes apart just easy. And basically there's a couple of little slots in the bottom. You slide the edge of the board in, push it down, and you're going to put this guy back on just like this, and you're going to put the two screws back together. And you are done. That's all there is to it. So the two screws are in and we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and start testing this thing. Okay, I went ahead and attached the unit over to a USB 3.1 port in my desktop, and let's go ahead and test it to see how it performs. Again, this is going straight from the device through a USB-C connection into my desktop. So I'm going to run a benchmark called ATTO, which I typically use for all of my testing. So let's go ahead and see how it works. Okay, what I'd like to do next is actually transfer some files over to the device so you can see actually the speed of the transfer, and then from there we're going to actually put it into the RavPower File Hub and make sure that those files are available to us and be able to access them. So what I did is I highlighted some sample movies. I'm going to go ahead and copy those, and let's paste them in here, and you'll see here shortly that this thing is copying data pretty quickly. So I'm going to speed forward through this so you don't have to watch the whole thing. As you can see, it's copying data pretty quickly. It's certainly maxing out the USB connection, the USB, so which is good. This gives you an idea of how fast you can transfer files through this device. Obviously, there's some inherent limitations through cabling and so on, but you're basically transferring on the average of about 95 megabytes a second, which is roughly comparable to a spinning hard drive. So it's a pretty good clip. You're going, at a pretty decent rate. Certainly at this point, we're not maxing out the SATA that's inside the device, but we are pushing the limits of most USB devices, or I should say USB controllers. And obviously your mileage may vary depending on what type of controller you have. But let's go ahead and let it finish and we'll go from there. Okay, so as you can see, the copying's complete, and now the next thing we're going to do is actually plug it into the File Hub and make sure that we can access these files. Okay, and lastly, want to verify that the files we did copy to this USB enclosure are now accessible through my RavPower File Hub. So I went ahead and logged into my File Hub through the Explorer. And obviously you can do this through your iPad or iPhone or whatever else you're using. And we're going to go ahead and hit Explorer and access the USB drive. And there's the test movies that I've actually created. And there's all the files that we've copied to it. So everything is there and plays and is accessible. So it makes it convenient for you to copy files to your device, bring them from your desktop to your RavPower to your laptop to work to whatever it is you're going to do. And the nice thing is it's a do-it-yourself device. So you buy the enclosure, you buy your own SATA drive. If you can get a good deal, you can end up with 512 to a terabyte of SSD storage for a moderate price. So it's a great way to go. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe and set the notification icon so you'll be notified when future releases. Thank you for listening and have a great day.